mean, Ted, what on earth went through your mind when this compulsory purchase order letter came through?
It didn't worry me so much as it did the wife.
Oh, so
Yeah,
Josie,
she
how
turned around
did you
and
feel?
she started crying. We had enough problems in the beforehand.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said, Josie, how did that make you feel when that letter came through the letterbox?
I was absolutely devastated. We'd only just bought this house. We'd been in here about 8 or 9 weeks, and that came through the letterbox.
And so,
You know,
what... I was going to say, what happened? Well, I mean, how did you respond to that? What did they say when you got in touch with the council?
We went down to the local offices after I composed myself together, after crying and then getting really angry. We went down to the local council offices here, and I spoke to a lady in there. She took photocopies of the letter after I showed her it and was really angry with her. And she said to me, "It's nothing to worry about, it's just a standard letter." And I said, "I don't think that's a standard letter that you should be sending to any person."
Yeah, so describe the contents of the letter for us, because it is quite strongly worded, isn't it? And it suggests that your property is empty. And what do they suggest it's going to be used for?
They say, as part of this process, Northamptonshire Council is identifying empty properties and sites within the area with the aim of encouraging owners to bring premises back into use or to find alternative options for derelict sites. The resettlement team in Northamptonshire Council supports asylum seekers and refugees across 3 different projects: Homes for Ukraine, Afghan resettlement and asylum dispersal. At present, we are seeing a considerable increase in positive immigration decisions being made in favour of asylum seekers. So basically, they're wanting accommodation. But who goes around and assesses whether these properties are lived in or they are actually empty? She couldn't tell me, the lady in the council.
No. Well, I mean, clearly, Ted, no one had bothered to come and look at your house at all, had they?
Obviously not. And then they have the audacity to send a letter of some sort of an apology. "I am sorry to hear that you were upset by the letter." Well, how would they feel if they got a letter like that after they bought a property?
What do you want now? Because clearly you are both very shaken by this letter, and that letter that you've received in response has not gone far enough. Do you want an apology? What more do you want to see?
Well, she said here that she's, you know, "I sincerely apologise," this Lindsay Bellchambers. But I don't see, there was no explanation as to how they've come to say this property was empty, whether it was disused, whether it was unkempt, or what. If you go back through the history of the property, it's not been empty.
No, it's very odd, isn't it? It's very odd. How does it make you feel about the idea that a council priority is not the fact that you're there paying your council tax, but they want to move asylum seekers in?
It makes me feel very angry because, as I said, we purchased the property, we've paid the council tax, the people who owned it before would have paid their council tax. How do they assess these properties for asylum seekers and Afghans and whatever? What about people that are on housing lists that have been waiting for years?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because Rishi Sunak is looking at this new social housing overhaul, the British homes for British workers. What do you make of that, Ted? Is that something that you would welcome, considering what you've been through?
I'd welcome it, but the thing is, why turn around now after all this time? And they've been looking at the other things, because that hasn't come up with the things. They're only looking at it now, probably because they've heard about this.
Well, yeah. Well, that may well be the case. Look, it's really good to see you both this morning, and let's hope this gets resolved to your satisfaction. very soon. Thank you very much indeed.
Good to see you, Ted and Josie. Thank you.
Well, we've asked the council for a reply, haven't we?
Yes, the leader of Northamptonshire Council, Jason Smithers, has said this in a statement. Compulsory purchase orders are a tool used as a very last resort to bring empty properties back into use. Unfortunately, in this case, records held by the council were outdated and the letter was incorrectly sent to a property which was occupied. For this, I am very sorry for causing any undue distress and worry.